I want to share with you a strategy that has been incredibly helpful for keeping myself in a healing mindset and just overall feeling mentally really strong and happy in life. And what this strategy is what I call superpowered journaling. Now, journaling is something that we hear about a lot, and I think it's because it is effective. Having a daily journaling practice can be really transformative. It, for me, can be almost like therapy, and it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 5 minutes a day. And like everything else, if you can find a way to habit stack it, tack it on to another part of your routine in the day, it's going to be a lot easier and more realistic that you'll actually stick with it. So keep a notebook and a pen on your bedside table, and then every night when you go to bed, that will be your visual reminder to sit for 5 minutes and just journal a few things about your day. There are many reasons, in my opinion, that journaling is essential, or at the very least, incredibly important for chronic fatigue syndrome or ME/CFS recovery. Journaling was absolutely an essential part of my own full ME/CFS recovery. Because we know, right, that we need to engage our healing response in our body, which means turning off fight or flight and stopping those stress hormones in their tracks and actively engaging in activities that put us in a state where our bodies can actually heal. And our bodies are smart. When they are in that stressed out state, they are not working on healing when they're feeling threatened. They are preparing us to face that bear in the woods and either fight it or run like hell. And when we're living perpetually in fight or flight mode, which often happens when we're facing chronic illness, because understandably, it's an incredibly stressful experience. But what is happening is we are flooding our body with cortisol and norepinephrine and adrenaline and all these things that actually block healing, and the immune system can't function in this state. So there is a need to heal our stress response. When we get ourselves in a more relaxed state, it turns off the stress hormones. So we need to build up the parasympathetic response to stimulate our vagus nerve. And when we elicit happiness and relaxation, it elicits a cocktail of very different hormones in our body. Things like oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine that all contribute to a healing physiology. And when working on recovery from ME/CFS, we need a toolbox packed with tools to make sure that we engage that healing physiology as much as possible. And in my experience, journaling has absolutely been one of those tools. In Ryan Holiday's spectacular book titled Stillness is the Key, he devotes an entire chapter completely to journaling. So Ryan explains that if you journal in the evening, it's a chance to examine your day and go back over what you've done and said, all while hiding nothing from yourself. And then you'll go to bed finding that the sleep that follows, this self-examination and processing of the day, will be particularly sweet and more restful, because the mind's had a chance to deal with itself and purge any agitation, and it's now ready to rest. And journaling in the morning can be a weapon for spiritual combat, as Ryan explains, to silence the barking dogs and prepare for our day ahead. It's a time to feel your wisdom flow through your fingertips and onto the page. And there are also some intriguing insights to be gained from research that's done by Jeffrey Rediger, who studies people around the world who fully recover from serious illnesses that were said to be incurable. And when he studies these people, there are mindset themes among all of these people who fully healed from these illnesses that doctors told them that there was absolutely no way that they could recover. And some of these themes among these people were things like gratitude for the illness, for what it's teaching you and how it's changing you for the better, and changing the mindset around what's possible with healing. Because when people know that complete recovery is possible, suddenly more and more people are recovering. And changes in your life that come as a result of this illness are seen as an opportunity, not as another burden. And finally, a theme that he saw amongst these people who fully recover is that healing our identity. So our beliefs about value, about seeing yourself not with judgment or criticism, but with compassion and understanding and knowing your value. These are all incredibly important mindset shifts and things that we need to work on that will help us in our healing journey, and all things that can be effectively addressed with journaling. As Ryan Holiday explains in Stillness is the Key, journaling is a way to ask tough questions about your recovery and about your life. Where am I standing in my own way? What is the smallest step I can take toward a big thing today? Why do I care so much what other people think of me? What is the harder choice that I'm avoiding? Do I rule my fears or do they rule me? How will today's difficulties reveal my character? Now, there's tons of anecdotal evidence out there showing that journaling is effective, and there is a growing amount of scientific study to back this as well. In my experience, journaling is effective. It allows you to stop obsessing and make sense of the many inputs in your life that might otherwise completely overwhelm you. As Ryan Holiday says, instead of carrying baggage around in our head and our hearts, we put it down on paper. So what I'm going to share right now are 3 steps that I use for my superpower journaling. So step 1 is to, when you sit down to journal, is every single day write down 5 things that you love about yourself. It sounds simple, but a lot of people actually find this hard. And if you find this hard, you probably really need to do this. I know that when I first started doing it, it was really uncomfortable, but I find doing this is a really good reminder to us that we are not defined by our weight or our illness or whatever it is that we think defines us. And I noticed when I first started doing this, when I sat down every day and had to write 5 things that I loved about myself, I realized I kind of felt like I wasn't really allowed to love myself, which is an incredibly scary realization to have. I really did struggle. I think sometimes as women, we get socialized even more to feel this way, although I'm sure everybody gets it, regardless of gender, to some extent. But I felt that I was supposed to be humble and demure and self-deprecating, really. I wasn't supposed to be confident. I wasn't supposed to be proud. And I most certainly wasn't supposed to be talking about how much I love myself. So it was uncomfortable at first, but after a few weeks of consistently writing down every single day things that I loved about myself, something really amazing started to happen. I started to internalize it. I started to feel it and believe it and shed all of those unhelpful things that had been put on me through socialization and wherever else they were coming from. And I could build up this love for myself. So I'd write down things like, I love how smart I am. I love that I'm a caring person who likes to do things for other people and try to help them. I love that I work hard and that I'm internally motivated to do things. I'd write, I love my legs. Oh my goodness. As a woman or anybody, are we allowed to love our bodies? I feel like there's some major societal rules telling us that that is absolutely not allowed. I started coming up with more and more, and when I saw the ones that I was duplicating over time, it helped me to appreciate those qualities of myself that I really valued and the things that meant the most to me. On the surface, it might not sound like it's related to healing, but in my experience, it very much is. So after you've written down 5 things that you love about yourself, then you are going to write something that has to do with gratitude. Now, gratitude, like journaling, we hear about it a lot, but there's a reason for that. It's because gratitude is incredibly powerful. It's really hard to be down on yourself when you're full of gratitude, and keeping your mind in that happy place keeps your body in that healing state. So this specific gratitude practice that I'm going to share comes from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, who I've talked about in another video. He's an influential doctor out of the UK. So what Dr. Chatterjee recommends that people do is when they write about gratitude every day, that they answer 3 questions. And the first question is, what have I done today to make someone else happy? And I don't think this is one that we automatically think of right off the bat. Many studies have shown that there are insane amounts of benefits, health and happiness benefits, that we receive when we give back to others. Just a few of the proven benefits are things like it slows the aging process. It improves mental and physical health. It lowers mortality rates. It lowers rates of depression and stress. And you have an overall higher quality of life and fewer physical limitations. Doing things for other people actually has a more positive impact on well-being than income, education level, or marriage do, which is crazy to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And then the second question that you ask when you're doing your gratitude journaling is, what has someone else done today to make me happy? And I love this question because it allows you to reflect on and appreciate and be thankful for the wonderful people that you do have in your life. And you get to, in that moment of writing about it, relive that thing that they did. And then the third question to answer in your gratitude practice is, what have I learned today? And by answering this question, what have I learned today, It gives you a chance to have gratitude for your growth, gratitude for your progress. And then on to step 3. Step 3 of the superpowered journaling practice is about goals. It's writing about your goals, but not in the way that we conventionally do it. Now, this practice I got from a woman named Rachel Hollis. And if you're not already familiar with her, I've mentioned her in other videos. I think she is amazing. But what I've learned from her is to write about my goals as if they've already happened. And I found this practice to be deceptively simple, but exceptionally effective. So instead of writing about the things I want to accomplish, I write about them as if I already have accomplished them. So I'll write things like, I am healthy and strong. I have a best-selling book. I surf every single day. Or I have a beach house in Bali. Whatever it is that I would like to attain in life, I write about it as if I have it. This helps to solidify these things, your goals in your mind, make them feel more attainable, and keep your focus where it needs to be. So what's the best way to start journaling? Is there an ideal time of day? How long should it take? As Ryan Holiday says, who cares? How you journal is much less important than why you are doing it. You are doing it to clarify your thoughts and your plans and have quiet time with yourself and keep your stress responses in check. It's your spiritual windshield wipers. For me, success in life hasn't come from willpower or motivation. For me, it's been all about 2 things. It's been all about focus and habits. Having the focus of where I want to go and then building in the habits that are going to get me there. As I always say, in my experience, recovering from chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME, was about small incremental changes over time. It was about adding in new things slowly that kept helping me build towards my goals. And remember, you need to do something immediately after watching this video to put this into action if you actually want to get the benefits from this, because just having this information on its own is not going to get you anywhere. So I invite you to, within 5 seconds of this video being done, to do something to put this into motion, whether that be grabbing a journal and a pen and putting it by your bedside table, or if you don't have a journal, perhaps add a journal onto your grocery list, because I know many grocery stores have a stationery section where you can pick up journals. Just do something, write yourself a note, do something within 5 seconds to put this into action so that you can get the benefits from all of this. And whatever you're facing, keep going, keep working, keep trying new things. You will get there. And in the meantime, I am sending you boatloads of love and support for your own healing journey. So that's it for today. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video.